Hey guys, your Shot Midget here. So I'm going to be doing a little review on the SIG Sauer 2-7. This is the Whisky3 is the actual model name. Now I've had this optic on here for about a year and a half. At first I had a primary arms T1 and a hollow sun magnifier. I wanted some more magnification because this is like an SPR long range 5.56. So I thought a 2-7 was perfect, and I found a great deal on this. So I sold my friend the hollow sun magnifier, and I kept the primary arms T1, and I'm putting that on my next gun. So this is made by SIG, like I said. I'm just going to do a short video. I don't have a whole lot of shooting footage with this optic on this gun, but I assure you I've shot over 500 rounds with this optic on here. This was actually the first AR I ever built. So I have more rounds on this than any firearm that I own. But for the longest time, I just had the primary arms T1. This, I've definitely put a little bit over 500 rounds through, and I've been very, very happy with it. I'm not a huge scope expert, but in my opinion, I think like a 2-7 is like probably one of the best magnifications for a 5.56. Now, I get it, you want to do a 308, 6.5 Creedmoor, one of the longer range calibers, you probably want more than 7 magnification. But in my opinion, 7 magnification will do just fine at 600-700 yards, which is kind of where 5.56 maxes out. In my opinion, of course, there are some that will shoot out to 900, 1,000 yards with match grade ammo, match grade barrel, but your typical shooter, your average person, or even slightly above average, because I would argue I'm above average shooter, 600, 700 yards is like the maximum that most people are going to be able to compensate for and reliably hit targets. And that's just inherently the cartridge. Now, before I show you the box and kind of give you a close-up, what is this? This is a 223 Wild 1-in-9 twist heavy barrel AR-15, PSA lower, and the upper receiver I actually bought complete used. This was back when on Facebook you could actually, there were like AR-15 marketplace where you could sell like uppers and stuff, non-licensed or serial numbered components, so you can sell non-firearms. Well, in most states it's legal to sell privately actual firearms, so you could sell lowers, but eventually Facebook cracked down on that sort of thing. But I actually met a guy locally and bought this upper receiver probably 8 years ago. So here is the box. You can see Whisky3, SIG. SIG is a reputable company, so you know you're going to get a pretty good product. Not all their stuff's perfect, of course. Like their 320s were firing when you dropped them. Not good. Whiskey series, they have Whiskey 2, and I don't know if they have a Whiskey 1, but it just comes in a bag, and then you get a set of this actually hex key and then an Allen wrench, both. And I think those were actually included with the mount that I got, not necessarily the scope itself. The scope technically comes without a mount, as you can see there, and these are actually on sale on Amazon, so I'm going to have a picture that I'll roll in, and it's like $115 right now for this optic, and then you have to get a mount for it. So really good price. Most of the other places that I've seen online are selling them from about $140 to $190, so there's a huge variance, and it's all the same thing. They have 2 versions. One has the BDC, one does not. I believe this one is the BDC, which is the bullet drop compensation, because it does have some hash marks going down. So I believe that is this version. It doesn't particularly say on the box, but, or does it? SFP? I'll have to check if that's the model for the, BDC1, yep. Quadplex. So this is the more expensive one. The cheaper one does not have the BDC, and you can see what it looks like there. So you have left and right, and the bottom have the hash marks. Now, I don't know what caliber that's for, and it may not be specific, but of course some of those BDCs are actually set up for a certain grain weight, so it's kind of hard, you know what I mean? Because like I use 55 grain, this is a 1-in-9. I actually shoot 223 through it. I don't even shoot like M193 or 5.56. I just shoot 223 through this, very light recoil with the 18-inch. It's still getting a solid 29 if not a little bit faster, with just not hot 223. I shoot Wolf Gold 223 and PMC Bronze, both 5.56, or sorry, both 223 at 55 grain. So here's a close-up. You can see the SIG markings on the caps. The caps screw off very easily, and they have like O-rings, so they stay tight. One click is a half MOA, and so I like the adjustments on this thing a lot. It's even marked here. So the hash for it, so it does have a hash mark. You can't really see it. You kind of can you? Please focus. Right on the inside there, there's like a hash mark, and so that's where I'm at. So I'm like in between 8 and 9, so that would be 8.5. So you can like track it, and I guess you could write it down if you wanted to, if you're a super sniper. Sig Sauer. And then this is the knob here, and it actually has it's not a tritium vial, I don't think. It's just a, what do they call that? Fiber optic. So I guess it's supposed to capture light, but I don't think it glows in the dark. But that is the notch that it's on. Man, if this thing will focus. So it's 7, and then again it goes all the way down to 2, and you can move it like that. There is a threaded piece here, so I thought you could put one of those knobs where you adjust it real quick, and I wanted to put one on here, but see how it's facing the opposite direction of the knob? So that's not what it's for, because if you were to adjust it, it would hit the gun. You see, if you would go down with it, it would smack the gun. So that's not what that's for, obviously. I think it's a 32 objective by 32. Yeah, it says on the top there, and you see the Whisky3. The mount that I have on here is made by Weaver brand. I will also roll in a picture. That is about $65, 70-ish for that mount. So kind of a budget. I bought this whole setup here from MMC Armory for $250 free shipping, but now that Amazon has a good deal, it would actually be cheaper to buy from Amazon and then buy the mount separately. But they were not on sale, because I did look on Amazon for just the Optic itself when I did buy it, and it was not on sale. All the other, like Optics Planet had it for $190, PSA had it for $140, so the prices are varied for this same optic, so that's kind of interesting. And of course, you could spend, $60-70 on like a Weaver mount, or you could spend, $150 on what Aero Precision. There's a bunch of different high-end mounts for these. So this is one really heavy rifle, so I took the upper off, and just to show you what it looks like, how clear it is. It's focused pretty good there, isn't it? Let's see how it does on the greenery. See if I can get it to focus on the green. And here it is on 2 magnification, so that focuses a little bit better. So that's like close range. I think this is a great optic. You could use it for medium range, so we'll go to 5. Comes across pretty clear if I can keep it in the, yep, like that, and then back to 7. Pretty clear in my opinion. So I'm not an optics expert by any means, but I do own a Vortex 1-4, and I regret getting that instead of getting, there's a SIG 1-6 that is about $280. I see it constantly, or $270. I see it constantly advertised on Palmetto State, and I wish I would have gotten that instead of spending $300 on the Vortex 1-4. So I think the SIG optics are the way to go. They make some budget ones. And comparing to my Vortex 1-4, this is definitely better. Even this on that, the Vortex 1-4 is on my 14.5, and I just regret not getting the 1-6, because every time I shoot that, I'm shooting it at 300-400 yards roughly in between there, and I always am kicking myself for not getting the 6 magnification, because 4 just is not enough to shoot past 300 in my opinion. So I could have done this on that 14.5 as well, the 2 to 7, but I think a 6 would have been just fine. And with it being a shorter 14.5, going all the way down to 1x could be positive for short engagements. Whereas this, going down to 2, this is a long range gun, so I don't really see myself. I never adjust it when I go out to the range and I shoot this at 200 to 400. I always just leave it on 7, because even at 200, 7 is good. You see what I'm saying?